The Golf Biz with Mikey D, Drew, and the crew. Management, marketing, myths, and morons. Hope we make you smile.
Welcome to The Golf Biz with Mikey D, Drew, and the crew, where our one and only goal is to make you smile as we share stories of owning, marketing, and managing golf courses all over America. Welcome, Drew.
What's up? How are you?
Thanks for being here.
We're a person light today.
Absolutely.
What happened?
Mikey D, technical difficulties down in South Florida. It's been raining for like 90 straight days. So if he calls, we'll take a break and pipe him in. But we don't need him anyway.
No.
Because we have a legendary marketer and a brilliant mind in the space, Josh Hill. Josh, welcome to the show.
Well, thanks for having me. What an introduction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Josh has been a friend for a very long time. We met at Walters Golf, about 20 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been quite about that long.
Yeah. And when I met you, you were doing the marketing for all the six properties of Walters Golf, right?
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I did play golf with you, and it became very apparent that you didn't get into the golf business, even on the marketing side, because of your skill.
No, that's my golf game has a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
So we're the same that way. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That could be the dream match right there. Drew versus Josh right there.
I'm definitely the D player.
Yeah.
No question.
Well, I think, Drew, you could take him.
Okay.
I think you could.
I like it.
Yeah. So it's a match. So, Josh, we start the show just to get it kind of funny and get it going a little bit. We start with our birdie of the week and our bogey of the week. And this week we'll start with Drew, birdie and bogey.
Yeah, so birdie this week, it was awesome. Last Saturday, we had the Mesa Police Department came out. We did a huge fundraiser tournament with them. They raised a ton of money for their Officer Assistance Fund. And then this week, we've got another fundraiser coming. That's just one of the most fun parts about Dobson, being able to do all the community outreach and meet so many people who never even realized that Dobson existed, and seeing a city course become really what it should be, kind of a centerfold or a cornerstone, I guess, for the community to come out, not just play golf, go ahead and show up, hang out, play some lawn games, cornhole. We got a new basketball hoop. It's going to be cool. Bogey is, don't really have one. Bogey's that I miss Mikey. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt. We all do.
We're going to miss clowning on him today.
I was looking forward to having him on today.
Yeah. So, Josh, what's your birdie and bogey of the week?
Birdie, I would definitely have to say moving to Scottsdale and buying a house in Greyhawk. It's an amazing community. Really excited to finally move in there. I would definitely say the bogey is the remodeling costs that are going to be going.
Yeah, no doubt. Those
it is an older home, so.
Yeah. Absolutely. Good luck with that.
Yeah,
I know it'll be beautiful.
Thank
Nikki
you.
has nice taste, and it will be expensive. So,
Yeah.
Greyhawk, though, my question is, I'm going to take a hard look at these bills, you know what I mean? Because that's it's a pretty nice neighborhood up here, you know?
Smallest home in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
So my birdie is that we finally got a basketball hoop at Dobson. I like it at all the properties. Adds a little fun, gives us the ability to run a promotion, and just really gets the customers engaged. It's funny to do after your round, before your round. So that's the birdie. The bogey was that for whatever reason, Drew and I decided to take on two high school basketball players that work guest services.
Yeah.
One is about 6'5".
And the other's actually a tennis player, not a basketball player.
Okay. Well, that means they're athletes. And the bogey is, we started out small lead, did pretty well, and then we got drummed.
We were up 2-0.
Yeah. We should have quit.
Yeah, we should have played to 2, not 5.
Yeah.
Then Joe almost broke his leg, stepped in a puddle.
Yeah.
Both of us couldn't see anymore. We were so out of shape.
Yeah.
That's the lesson to everybody out there. Quit while you're ahead.
Exactly. Hit the treadmill.
Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier. But Drew, I'm 48. I'm old enough to be your very old father. So
Yeah.
you're looking good now, though. I noticed you got the do. You actually took down the locks.
Yeah, this will date me a little bit. When you guys met 20 years ago, I think I was in first grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that makes me feel good. All right, so let's go get started here. So episode 9, golf course marketing, dynamic or dinosaur. So we're going to get a little different perspective. We are going to look at it from an operator golf side, and we're going to look at it from Josh, who now is the vice president of Brandlync. You have a very, very successful ad agency here in Scottsdale. So, we're going to go ahead and get started here, but I think we can all agree that as a whole, golf course marketing is pretty much a dinosaur, right?
Yeah. In my very short time in it, I've definitely seen that we have a really active approach, and I even saw this kind of as a customer. Once you knew what the rate was, you knew what it was. It was either too much or it was cheap, and it was a great deal. Nothing ever changed. You never had to ask the question again. And for a lot of those courses, the unfortunate answer is it's too expensive for people. So they don't want to come, and you have no way of getting them back because you're not ever changing.
Absolutely. So Josh, you got in the golf business, like we said, we met 20 years ago, and Bill Walters was the owner, probably one of the greatest entrepreneurs of the 21st century. And at that time, we're talking like the newspaper was cutting edge, right? So, so what things did you do differently? Because I witnessed it, to get an edge in a very competitive marketplace.
Yeah, like you said, Bill was definitely a visionary. He pushed the team to be progressive, think outside of the box, and we did just that. So in our marketing, we had to reach out. It was a resort-style golf course. So our goal was to build brand awareness and build brand consideration before they got to Vegas, right? Because we didn't want our competition winning the opportunity to get them to their golf course. So we told the story, right, about just the amazing golf course it was, but more importantly, it was how we reached the individuals. And in building an audience, and we still do this to this day, it's the most important part, right? It's going after the right customer at the right time with the right message. And given that there's a finite amount of money available, right, advertising budget, it's not limitless. You have to be very selective in how you go about creating that awareness, right? Because at the end of the day, everything we do and we did then was quantifiable. We looked for an ROI and everything. So back then, email was really, really popular. It still is to this day. We just use it a little bit differently. But we deployed email campaigns to that audience, and then we're talking about 17 years ago, 15 years ago. So created unique experiences back then, unique packages, leveraged the playability, the recognition of the golf course, the customer service aspects, what the customer can expect when they get to the golf course. And we played that up, right? And we just did it way better than our competition. And we did it before they got to Las Vegas, which was the biggest thing.
You mentioned too being selective because like all budgets, everything's finite. It would be cool if we could print our own money, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
The government can do it though.
Yeah. Hey, that'd be cool. Government run golf course. Who'd have thought? But what sort of things did you guys look for when it came to that initial targeting? Like, was there some just trial and error and you figured out what things sort of worked, or was there markers or characteristics for the people or the audience you were going after that you knew, you'd have a better shot?
Great question. So back then, building an audience was mainly identifying the right demographic, right geographic areas, targeting them with the right message. But more importantly, then we had the capability of really contextual advertising, which is identifying website content and then placing media based on the content of the site. So we did a lot of that, but nowadays it's so much more sophisticated than that.
Absolutely.
We can not only, these days we build an audience beyond just the cookie, right? What identifies a particular user on the website and is tied to a single device ID. We can identify that a person's built in the audience and then target them across all of their devices. So it makes that reach exponential in nature.
Yeah, that was a lot of big words. Very well stated, right? So you might want to dumb it down for all us golf guys, all right?
Yeah.
No, but what he said really makes sense too, and it is almost a little creepy, right? How much you can dial it in. So we'll talk about that a little later about, the new sophistication, but, and this is a compliment to you too, because back in the day, I had been part of a lot of golf courses, and then when I joined Walters Golf before I started my own company, that Las Vegas is such a unique golf market, right? And we're going to talk a little bit about that later too, about the different markets. That we had to look ahead and actually see conventions that were coming in, what cities actually people came from based on seasonality, and you packaged it too. So we not only sold golf, we sold rooms and things like that too. So back then Google AdWords was a thing and all that too, and it's really seemed like you really stayed ahead of it more than most golf courses, or actually all golf courses in that market.
Well, I like to think we have. And yeah, back then, you were limited in how you can target individuals, what platforms you could use. Now there's just so many, right? So it really boils down to the data science and the ability to build the right audience. I keep bringing that up just because it's so very important.
Yeah. There's almost too many, it feels like, too many platforms and things out there for at least me to even keep track of. So is there, and you talked about being able to go from just targeting one device to all of them. Are there things that you guys use too that, sort of streamline and group together similar platforms so you guys can target it that way?
Sure, absolutely. We leverage all those types of technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So, it started, and we said it's Dinosaur, right, too. Josh, we're biased, right? We're not perfect at everything, but when it comes to marketing, we feel like we have a pretty good idea on what we're doing, not nearly to the level of sophistication. That's why we use your company. But, why do you think golf courses have failed to adapt? I mean, not just 20 years ago, but even today, to go ahead and buy into the importance of marketing and advertising?
I don't know. I think it probably is maybe just education, right? And not knowing that this technology or certain marketing disciplines or go-to-market strategies exist, right? Just a lack of maybe of information. I could really speak to that because back in 2001, when I joined and when we met, the website back then, was just a brochure website, and to this day, many golf course websites are brochure website, and that's to say they're flat, they're one-dimensional, they're non-responsive, right? So they're not even really viewable on mobile, right? So
yeah.
And mobile traffic accounts for 65% of a website's traffic.
Sure.
So it's more important nowadays to be mobile first optimized and to present the experience across all devices.
Yeah.
And back then, it was really easy to catapult in front of the competition just because of some of the technologies and some of the things that we implemented back then. Nowadays, to this day, we still find that some golf course websites that we work with.
Some or most. You let it rip.
Yeah.
You know what? We do plenty of pound in other golf courses and managers. It's okay.
Yeah. No, and I think the other thing is golf course operators and owners, they tell the wrong story, right? They might show the pictures of the golf course and it might look beautiful, but are they really telling the right story? Are they talking about the experience? Are they talking about the uniqueness of the feeling that they're going to get? What I love about what you guys do on a day-to-day basis is you change that mindset, and it's all about the culture that you create at the golf course. And as a marketer, you make our job easy because we can tell that story, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think what you said to the culture is a huge piece, right? Because I don't necessarily have the experience on the actual marketing side like you guys do, but from an operator's perspective, right? And I've seen it really just as a leader, in any business. It's pretty normal, right, for an employee or someone to want an easy route. They want to just show up, they want to clock in and whatever. And I think this talks to what we've touched on before, the traditional golf mindset and how archaic it is. And it's almost your privilege to be at my golf course. I don't really care if you show up because I know what I've got. It's beautiful. It's you're lucky to be here. And to the same effect, I think a lot of golf professionals or a lot of operators almost see it as, well, I'm comfortable. I get paid my salary regardless of how many golfers show up, as long as we're making enough to stay in business. So whether I've got 100 or I've got 200 golfers, 200 is a whole lot more people to manage. It's a whole lot harder to keep that day smooth. Yeah. And I think that could be part of it too, is even if they don't know about it, and even if they did know about it, they probably wouldn't care because they might look at it. And I've actually, met other people, and, Chris is a great example too. He said, oh, dude, when he came from other golf courses and traditionally, it's making your day worse by going out and finding more people because it's a bigger headache. It's more people to kind of corral, they say herding cats or whatever it is. Yeah. And just all the ways that they talk about getting more golfers out, it seems like they don't want it.
Absolutely. I think the other thing too is that, we do consulting work on the marketing side, and, some of those projects we pull you in, some we don't, because depending on the level of sophistication and things like that. But I think everybody wants an immediate result. They think that, hey, if I actually invest a little bit of money on one video and one boost, that this is just going to go ahead and open the floodgates, right? it takes time.
It does.
You know, Mikey can go ahead and do a Snapchat and an Instagram post and fill a night golf tournament. You know, Drew, you're starting to get that way, right, too? But it takes time.
Yeah.
You can't just wake up and look at, say, hey, I'll do that.
Exactly.
You know, Josh, let's go ahead and do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
And expect like it's going to fill it.
Yeah.
It's building a brand.
How many years did Mikey do it when no one showed up or 5 people showed up? You know what I mean? And that's because the first time out of the gate, people are going to say, oh, wow, there's Josh on my Instagram feed. That was cool. But if they see you, 3 times a week after week, it's going to start to stick. You're right.
That's right.
Absolutely. And Josh, you touched on something too, that it must be frustrating because you're not really in the golf space. I get it. There's bigger industries that are, better for your business, that are definitely have a different level of sophistication. You're huge into the car and automobile industry and things like that. And I don't want to be too tricky with this question either, but your job as an ad agency is to go ahead and actually bring awareness, to get leads and get people to take some action, right?
Right.
So it must be frustrating that, you are based on your success as how many cars you sell, right? But yet it takes a plan, right?
It does.
What happens when somebody does something, whether it's a lead form or phone call. So that must be frustrating, somebody that owns an ad agency or manages one to not see the results based on, not being effective on the other side.
Yeah, no, it definitely can be, but it also presents an opportunity for us to work with our client to tell the right story, to help them to see the opportunity of implementing the experience side of it a little bit more, and then it becomes, like I said earlier, our job does become easy because with the right message and in the right placement, we all win.
Absolutely. And well, like you said too, it sounds like, so let's just say that, how do you help a company? Let's just stick with cars, or you can be golf too. But, is there other technology out there that you provide that helps them after the lead comes in to help them follow up on it, to retarget them, to go ahead and make that person, just not go away after one click?
Yeah. So let's talk about this in the context of golf, right? We deploy and create various marketing sequences that once we bring in a lead, right, we disposition that lead, what type of opportunity is it, and then we can create marketing sequences to really support that opportunity and continually drive not only that new business, but then once they become a customer, that remarketing aspect and the bounce back messaging and some things like that. So there are absolutely technologies that can be deployed. Back when we met, right, we only did that from an email standpoint, but now with just technology and just what exists out there, we can target those individuals in an omni-channel cross-device capacity. And that's to say that we can reach them across their iPhone, their mobile device, their iPad, their desktop, even connected TV.
Absolutely. And when you connect with them and you do the leads and you follow up, I can tell you firsthand that it works. In Las Vegas, it's an investment that we couldn't live without because, and I think another reason why most golf course operators and owners don't necessarily get involved with it, one, they don't feel like it's that important because they think if they just have a good product at a fair price, that it'll work. And I think also that, they don't see the immediate results, but I don't think that they even have an interest or a passion to even get involved with it, like it actually is too much work. Like you said, it is work. I mean, to market and advertise, it's work. It takes mental energy, emotional energy, physical energy, money, right? And I just think that that's where a lot of this falls by the wayside.
Yeah, and I think it really is a 1-2 punch because not only is it work to be dedicated to do the things you need to do for the long enough period of time to actually build the audience, but by building the audience and bringing more people in and bringing more people out, now you need more staff, you have more things you have to worry about, and that could be a scary thought for people like, well, I can barely manage the 100 we already have. How am I supposed to manage double that?
Yeah.
And just to add to that, I mean, we go back to what we did, in our Walters Golf days. It was heavily based on yield management. And when we talk about the audience, right, there's a person that's willing to pay a particular price throughout the day, right?
Absolutely.
So we found ourselves marketing the low rates. We found ourselves marketing the mid rates and the high rates.
Yeah.
And we would yield our rates, and we would tie that in directly and correlate that to our marketing strategy and our execution.
Yeah. Just to touch on that, like it never would have crossed my mind until Joe pointed it out. But over at Dobson, there's the same thing like every golf course. We have 2 different times a day where the price breaks. And right now, it happens to be 12:30 and on the weekdays, which is fairly early. There's still plenty of sunlight. They got 5-6 hours. So a lot of people can still get out there and get 18 in. But I never would have imagined that the time from 11:30 to 12:30, now that the weather's beautiful, is actually the hardest time to fill, because everyone would just rather wait an hour and save $10 than pay the extra 10 and go out earlier. So really, that's the last inventory that I ever see fill, unless I can find a group that wants to pre-book it, and that way it drives the demand. For the rest of the early times, you can get a higher price, and you can even get something for those later times right after the price break.
That's a great point. And for a resident, a local play type golf course, that's a fantastic strategy. Fill it with group business. If you're a resort golf course, you can work with various hotels, right? And pre-book and have those customers prepay, lock them into that higher rate spot. Because you're discounting the hotel or what have you. But there's an opportunity to deploy those types of strategies as well to pre-fill those times. And you can yield around them.
And that's where you win and lose in the local golf courses, right? We talk about it. We do 90,000 rounds at Dobson. It's quickly become my favorite property. It's got a great history, great customers.
Suck it,
a lot
PBN.
Of fun. Yeah, exactly. PBN, suck it. You're not that cool anymore. You're out. But those are the things that are win or lost. And I think that we talked a lot about the technology, right? That takes a ton of sophistication. And another thing you guys do is that, which I think is underestimated, is that they have a product, right? Whether it's the hamburger in the restaurant business or the golf course or whatever, I think a big mistake, and it's underestimated, is just the quality of whatever you put into the world, right? You know what I mean? Whether it's an email, whether it's your website, whether it's a digital post, those are the things, like the quality that you guys do. You can say, wow, look at this place. You know what I mean? Just the crispness and the quality of it and the content, the design. There's an art to that, right? That's not just luck.
Right. No, there's definitely an art to it, and there's a story that we tell through the creative. And we create that creative for different demographics, right? Different people, different audiences. And that's where we definitely get to have success.
Yeah, absolutely. And Drew, we talked about that. We talk about this all the time, right? We have the golf nerds. You want to go after, it's a different message. You have the partiers, the slobs that want to go out and just drink beer and have fun and all that stuff. So, and I think that, because to be successful with Brandlync and with a company like yours, which I recommend, if you don't have a passion for it, if you don't have an interest in it, everybody needs to brand their property. They need to stay ahead of it because there's different buying patterns. But I think that the message that's sent in the medium it's sent is very important too. And I think that the golf world got stuck into this stuffy thing where if they just showed a picture of their signature hole, that was going to attract a lot of people, right? Well, I know Gary Vee said this, and he says it almost every time he steps in front of a camera, is that the most competitive thing in any business is getting people's attention, right? So we've gone to a lot of levity, a lot of self-deprecation about just having fun, right? We try to either make fun of ourselves, something in the industry, and then we also try to go ahead and offer a lot of contests, and we use promotions rather than just discounts, because we view it this way, is that customer acquisition that comes at a cost, right? And if you feel like you have the right team behind you to go ahead and make them a customer, so we give away tons of rounds of golf. Even on golf courses, we're busy. People say you got to be crazy. But hey, the world changes. It's going to change now, I think, right? It's going to be harder, right? And golf is, something you don't need to do. It's a discretionary item. So continue to build your customer base by whether it's a promotion, a contest, and just bringing attraction to you. I mean, don't you value that too, right? It's the quality of your content.
It's the quality of your content. It's the message you're putting out. And that's what's so unique about what we love working with you guys, because that message is just there, right? It's part of the day-to-day. And for a golf course that doesn't have that already and is working towards that, we recommend using your positive reviews, right? Your happy customer experiences, let your customers tell that story for you until you build that inertia and that momentum and can pull it off at the integrated level at the golf course.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we have a program called Ramp, actually, that does just that. It takes your reputation, your positive reviews, and amplifies them in an omni-channel cross-device capacity.
There's all the big words again.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm trying to write those down here. I can't even read it now.
Can you spell omniplex?
Yeah.
But no, it's huge. I mean, and Mikey and Nadia, a little while back talked about how important it's been out in Palm Beach National, all the reviews and everything. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've also learned is part of all that extra work, right, that we put into it, because we know we have so many people coming out, and we want to make sure that all of our efforts in getting people and building that audience isn't for naught. And that's to also get in front of any potential bad reviews, by being out there and addressing any issues that might come up and finding out, because no one knows. I don't know what any of the golfers that are out there thinking. I could think that the turn times are great and everyone's having a good time and it's beautiful weather, but just because they waited on a hole, now they're all mad. It takes one guy, the whole group's grumpy. And if I don't go out there and find it and ask them, or if our team doesn't, check in and say hi to everybody that they walk by, those people will never have a chance to express their disinterest or their frustration. And if they can, express it to us, and we can sit and just own it and just say, hey, you know what? It does sound like we let you down. We're really sorry. We know we're not perfect as much as we might try. And then you kind of cut it off right there, because that's the person that's going to go home and leave a bad review, is the person who goes untouched, unacknowledged.
No question about it.
Yeah.
Well, and that's part of marketing too. So this is not just a one-step process. That we're not on this show today to go ahead and actually just call Brandlync and hire you and solve all your problems. Right. If you are looking for somebody, we highly recommend it, because you're a piece of our puzzle, right? And the marketing is that we also invest in somebody at each property to brand them. It's Drew, you have your own show, Mikey has his own show, The Boy Wonder and all that. And the reason we do that is that we have found throughout the years, doing this for 20 years, it's really hard to separate a golf course, right? And even nowadays, people really think it's cool to have this big, gorgeous, beautiful golf course, but the harder the golf course is the worst thing you can have, right? So you show this big, beautiful hole. It used to be, wow, look how great it is, I'd love to play there. And now it's like, gosh, if I played there, I'd lose 100 balls and take me 6 hours.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So we like the hit and giggle golf courses. You know what I mean? Sure. And when you smash it, you find it, you smash it again, right?
Yeah. Yes. And that's why we got the used golf balls. You lose all the golf balls in the range or wherever it is, who cares?
Exactly.
We'll get you some more.
Keep rolling, yeah. So, when it comes to marketing, I would highly recommend any golf course, go ahead and brand, one of your guys at the golf course or one of your gals at the golf course too. Give them a nickname, give everybody a nickname, and make it fun. Interview your celebrities. And, as a big misconception too, is that, I hear it, a lot with Mikey and, and even for people that, work there or, people that work outside the industry, and Drew, you're experiencing this now, and Boy Wonder and all the guys too, is that they think this job is really easy, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? To go out there and do it. It takes time. I would say that I spend 70% of my time on marketing strategy. I don't know the digital side and the technology and the sophistication. That's what Josh's team does. And we make a great team. But any golf course out there that thinks they're just going to outbrand and outsell, how pretty their golf course is or how great the greens are, that's important, right? But you're never going to go ahead and dominate a marketplace.
Unless you've got the Masters plan at your course, which is Augusta.
Well, that helps, right? Yeah. That is private. Yeah, no doubt. And they wouldn't even let us join even if we were billionaires. So I totally understand that completely. So, Josh, this is actually meant to laugh, right? But it is a valid point. If you work with other industries, how does golf marketing compare from a sophistication and technology and innovation from an operator's perspective compared to the car business and other industries?
Well, like we addressed,
just let it rip, man.
Yeah, he's looking for a way to put this nicely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, there's similarities and there's differences, right? When it comes to the similarities, I like to go back to the experience. Every business we ever work with, is their success is one in the experience that they give to their customers. The differences lie in their marketing strategy, their go-to-market strategy, how they reach their customers, how they talk to their customers, what technologies they use, what they don't use. So I would say that's the biggest difference between golf and some of the other industries we work with, is just the marketing or the lack of strategy, the lack of execution, the lack of commitment to it.
Interest.
Yeah, interest in it.
Absolutely.
And the difference is, I think also, if you look at the automobile industry, there's a lot of education. There's conferences. There's not that the PGA and the golf doesn't
you can
have.
hammer it. They don't do any. We get that.
Yeah,
Everybody agrees.
There's internet 20 groups in the automobile vertical, right? Where GMs and owners get together regularly to discuss what's working, what's not working, and they collaborate and they share the ideas, they share those experiences, they share the vendors that work that don't work, the advertising companies that work and that don't work. In my experience in the golf business, that didn't really exist. I mean, there's the National Golf Course Owners Association list that everybody seems to be on, and they thought that was an effective means.
Well, in fairness, I don't want to work with any of our competitors. I want to crush them like a bug. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, no interest there. But no, I agree. There isn't really a forum. Because I'd imagine in the car business, we've talked about this, and I think a mistake they make is that, imagine that. Everybody's going to try selling, you have a Hyundai dealership, right? The 2021 Sonata comes out, right? It's the same car, right? And one's 20 miles away, right? So how do you differentiate that, or from a Camry and all that too? It seems like it's more difficult, and I think they lose a lot because they also seem to be fairly traditional minded, trying to sell gas mileage and interest rates and all that. Drew's a millennial. How much does that interest you?
Not.
We leave that to the OEM. We leave that to the tier 2 to really kind of hit and emphasize on that. At the tier 3 level, which is the dealership level, it's about branding the uniqueness of the dealership, their unique selling propositions, why the customer wants to do business with them, how they're going to be treated, and what benefits and what value the dealership can add by buying from them. Yeah. Same thing holds true in the golf space, right? Is a golf course can do that exact same thing, and they can have that message. And when they do that properly and they go to market with that strategy, they can maintain price integrity and they can get more for their golf course. Yeah. And that's a big, that was a big part of what we accomplished at Walters Golf. Sure. What you accomplish, through your golf courses to this day is create the experience, showcase the experience, and then you maintain price integrity, but yield around opportunity. Yeah. Right?
We have a very simple strategy when it comes to pricing, whether they're coming through the internet, whether they're coming through the phone, that our goal is to get that customer to pay the most they're able and willing to pay. Yeah. Right? And it doesn't mean a scam. It doesn't mean anything, but there are qualifying questions, and we have a whole T-sheet, right? There's morning times are not that desirable now because it's chilly, and an hour before twilight isn't as desirable. So the one that's looking for a low price, we find the time. Yeah. For the one that's looking for a specific time, we find the price. Yeah.
Or you go out and you find the guy who it really means more to him to play really fast first out than it does that he's cold. He doesn't care that he wears a jacket for the first 3 holes, and he'd rather get out there and go. And because I know that time probably won't sell, I'll give him a deal, and it's 4 more golfers than we would have had.
Absolutely. So Josh, the progress in the marketing side, which you touched on before, which is remarkable, unbelievable, and super creepy, all 3, right? Like with the data mining and everything, and them being able to chase you and track you down and knowing everything about you, right? What's the next play? You know what I mean? What do you see coming up into the future of marketing and advertising to gain an edge?
Well, I think, I don't know if it's the next, right? It's the here, it's the now. It's separating yourself from being held captive, if you will, to a particular search platform or to Facebook, right, or Instagram, or you don't want to have to be captive to those platforms. So you want to create that one-to-one brand and that association directly with your prospects, with your customers, so that if you build the audience, whether that's your customers or prospects or your competitors' customers, you want to be able to reach them across any medium, right? And it's just that ability to reach them at scale, reach them effectively, efficiently, and not be held captive to any one platform.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And someone who's really good at all that, and this is kind of a good segue, I think it'll be time we take a break. Mikey says that he's ready.
No way.
Yeah. So
All
we're
right.
going to go ahead. We're going to do take 2 before the storms knock everything out. We'll get into that more because I think that's probably right
Let's
up
do
Mikey's
it.
alley is
Absolutely.
making his brand aware. He's probably done the most of it at Paradigm, and he's got probably one of the best local followings. And we talked about that before, being a operational influencer and sort of the weight that is behind those 3,000 followers instead of 5 million unengaged ones.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead to take a quick break. We're going to go ahead and play some of our favorite clips from the first few episodes. And then when we come back, Mikey will be joining us to talk more about it.
Sounds
See you
good.
soon.
Fantastic.
You forgot about the number one thing that Mikey does when total chaos breaks. Turn up the music. I have seen
Turn it up,
guys
baby.
come in.
You know, rum shot, otter pop, turn up the music, baby. Come on. Does it make me a total loser, the fact that my girlfriend beats me regularly on the golf course? Or does that just make me not very good?
Well, yeah.
That goes back to the not caring, right?
And then at home, we try to do the same as far as the compliment
Yeah.
of each other.
Are you reading off a teleprompter? I'm just kidding.
How much time do you spend out at PBN, out kind of in the thick of it instead of being back in an office?
100% of my time is spent primarily in the field, shaking it up.
Well, that's partly because we don't allow them in an office either. So, hey, Mikey, what's your
Hey,
name?
fortunately for you, Drew, golf and sex have one thing in common.
What's that,
You
Mikey?
don't have to be good at it to enjoy it.
There you go.
Hey, good point.
Yeah,
He is
yeah.
dating my daughter, jackass.
Oh,
But anyway.
but the birdie was, it's Monday. There was a great weekend, Saturday, Sunday, large stacks on stacks, baby. Crushing it.
Absolutely. Mikey, what does stacks on stacks mean? Just for all the corporate stiffs out there that don't realize
That
your language.
means you're stacking the cash. So for the record, I've never been confused for both a golf pro or a pro golfer ever in my life.
Yeah. What are you considered then? Just curious.
A used car sales guy.
I will take that. All right.
Fortunately, my significant other is pretty good, and she moves it pretty fast too. So it's actually enjoyable. It's something we enjoy going out to do.
Yeah. Is she standing in front of you right now with that answer?
She is not, no, but I know this is being recorded, so she will eventually.
Closing
Wait a
thoughts?
minute, I thought we won. We didn't win?
No. It was the guys against the girls. You lost. Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Hey, Naughty, just tell him he won. It's okay.
Yeah. I'll just pat him on the back again.
Yep.
no
Yeah,
worries.
just scratch his head.
He won't know any
Yeah.
different.
Yep.
Yeah. So, Mikey D, out to you on the East Coast. What are you thinking about rolling up for that video to take on Drew?
We wearing the aviators with the tuxedo, looking fly like my man Pitbull. T fairway green.
All right. Well, Mikey's going to rock that baby out. So, hey, thanks for tuning in. Hope we made you smile, and we'll see you next week.
We lost him.
Shake the next shot off the patio. Bounced up, smashed my neighbor's window. Took a look around, nobody was home, so I took...
Welcome back, everybody. Unfortunately, the storm struck again. We could not get Mikey into the call, so we couldn't have him join us. But I hope you all got your fill with some of those clips. You might have noticed they were a little Mikey-centric. We love him. Hope you got your daily dose of him for the week. But seriously, go check him out on Instagram. He's awesome. He keeps it light. He keeps it fun. He's always doing trick shots, giving things away at PBN. He is the epitome of being cool and making people feel cool.
And you know what? Check out the music videos. We played them in the past few episodes. They are super cool. And I got to give Mikey kudos. He was definitely not a good student. He definitely had a lot of flaws. But at a young age, he was very good at poetry.
Yeah.
And it was just to score chicks that were way older than him. And for some reason, I don't know, I think it kind of worked. But anyway, I don't know where this poetry came from. But so when we started writing songs, Mikey is very talented.
Yeah.
And almost like a savant. And then he has a new song coming out that we talked about a few episodes. I've heard it.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, it's going to be great. Tees, fairway, green.
Yeah, it's gonna be
If
awesome.
he could hear us, he'd be dancing already. He can't help himself.
No doubt. He is going to go full Pitbull. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's going to be awesome. The challenge is going to be, I don't think Naughty is going to let him shave the head. So I think that's going to be a little disappointing.
She's scared it's not going to come back?
I think so. Yeah, he only has a divot there anyway. You know, I'm throwing a rock at a glass house here. I get it. You know what I mean? I don't even have a divot. But anyway, so you know what? Let's go ahead and talk about the topic that I really find the most interesting today, and it just recently kind of happened. You know, there is complete and total political chaos, and I've seen it. I've had a lot of people that just abandon, you know, their Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. And I can really see, you know, a little bit out into the future, and that is, you know, our company, that's kind of what I do. And I really think that a lot of people are going to abandon those mediums. Some will go to other different platforms, and some just want to stay off it, because I can say that every time I go on there, all these hateful rants and stuff like that, and it's even from the people I may agree with, right? But I think at some point, this is going to get exhausting, right? I mean, nobody's going to want to go even look at our promotion or anything like that, because you're going to have to read through all this other hate mongering, and then you're going to actually see stuff that's not even real, you know? So Josh, you know, I think it's a real thing, but I'm not in this space like you are. I mean, what's your take on this stuff?
Totally agree. Yeah, it goes back to what we talked about earlier a little bit in being, you know, not being so captive and so dependent on a particular platform. So, you know, in the spirit of talking to the right audience and growing the right audience, first party data really has never been more important than it is today. And the goal for any marketing or any company should be to grow their database, right? So you can talk to them directly, and you can do it across all their devices and through email or display or social, right? But maybe it's not Facebook, maybe it's not Instagram. Yeah. Although I do think that that's not going away anytime soon. Yeah. But yeah, no, you want to own the opportunity to talk to your customers and your prospects.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think too that, you know, we talked about it, Drew and I, and Mikey talked about it too, is that I think that as a country, you know what, 50% feel one way, 50% feel the other way. But I think that, you know, what we do has never been more necessary, even if it doesn't result in more rounds of golf or more revenue, is that our goal and our motto is to hope we make you smile. Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that, you know, and that's why I'm so glad we have you guys, you know, working as part of our team, you know, that to understand the different mediums we can connect to, where if we can just offer a promotion or a laugh or, you know, I mean, that footage of guys playing basketball or Mikey hitting a trick shot off the roof, right?
Yep.
If it just gives everybody a break, even if it's for 30 seconds to get away from all the chaos and the, you know, the stupidity of everything, you know what I mean? It's just, I think it's going to be very well received.
Yeah. And I mean, that's one of the things that I never would have imagined. And, you know, growing up thinking that I was on that path, we talked about way in the beginning, the first episode, that I was hell bent on being a firefighter. My family did it. Everybody wanted to. And at the core, I really just wanted to help people. And that seemed like the path of least resistance. I knew how to get there. It was pretty clearly defined. It was tough, and it takes a certain kind of person. And once I got into it, realized maybe I'm not that person, I panicked. But being able to find a way and justify that I am helping people with what I'm doing. And that's exactly what made me love what I'm doing now with Paradigm. And even if it is golf, this is everyone that's coming to our golf courses or to any golf courses are trying to get away from real life. They want 3-4 hours to escape. They want something to do outside, get fresh air, just forget, have a couple drinks, hang out with their friends, meet new friends, whatever it might be, but they don't want to be plugged in. Absolutely. And so if I can, you know, focus on that and realize that I'm making all these people smile and our team is making a difference for all these people, making them smile, then that gives me more fulfillment than I ever could have imagined. Yeah,
absolutely. And Josh, you know, you mentioned something too, and it's, you know, you talked about data, you know, first person, you know, a lot of golf people out there, and this isn't meant to be critical. Explain a little bit more what that means.
Yeah, that means being directly connected to your customer and owning, not only being able to leverage that data from a marketing standpoint, but also a communication standpoint, and recognizing them, whether it's their birthday or anything like that, right? It's creating that one-to-one relationship with your customer and staying visually present and front of mind.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that, you know, with the way you market through the internet, social, whatever it might be, I think people lose focus on that too. And Gary Vee who's brilliant, you know, he talks about the jab, jab, right hook. And, you know, you have to build a a digital or virtual relationship with these people,
Absolutely.
right? You know, because all you do is clobber people with promotions over and over and over. They just slide by. If it worked, I would do it. You know what I mean? But
we've tried it.
Yeah, exactly. We clobbered. We did clobber. And you know, full disclosure, back in the day, Josh and I did actually offer a lot of 3 nights at the Bellagio Presidential Suite, along with 3 rounds of golf at Bali High for as low as $99. That really meant that you had to put 12 in the room. And you could tee off 20 minutes before dark, and then we upsold. So we did change our strategy throughout the years because, you know, people don't like the trickery. You know what I mean? The shell game anymore. You know what? There's a selling process at the other end of it. But, you know, and that's why it's so important to understand the customer behavior. Yeah. Because there's so much information out there that the customers are much, much smarter. So you're better off just, you know, making them smile. Offer something attractive, take great care of them, and build that one-to-one relationship.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
And as a marketer, again, going back to what I said earlier, you guys make our job as a marketer easy, right? We can pull the levers and push the buttons, but telling the story is so critical.
Yeah, absolutely.
To separate yourself from the competition.
No question. And I always really get excited about what is coming in the future. You know, they talk about virtual reality. To be honest with you, I know what it is conceptually. Still blows my mind. Any take on that?
I'm not too. No, I don't have a direct take on it.
Yeah.
Dude, I think if VR takes off or something, we could be out, man. There's no frost delays with VR.
I agree.
There's no rain. You could play any course. You could play all the signature holes at every course and just have the best holes ever. You know, you might have to pivot there.
Exactly. That's a little dark, but you kind of see it. You know what I mean? You don't have to leave your parents' basement ever, right?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If you believe what, you know, Elon Musk said, for all we know, we're all in VR right now. Who
Absolutely.
cares? How many layers deep did he think we were?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he is a brilliant man, but he is a little out there, you know? Yeah.
And, you know, something too, because we talked about building an audience earlier, and we're going to have a fun little contest. We're going to put our heads together. We're going to go and we're going to do a little brand awareness contest at the end here. So stay tuned for that. It'll be fun. Play along with us, see how many of these icons you can recognize. But going more towards the traditional things too, something I never really understood was, you know, I have friends I went to school with. They work for marketing companies still in San Diego, and they do similar stuff. And I've heard them talk about, you know, organic growth, which I would just assume is what, you know, Mikey does so well, getting people out there and, you know, kind of hammering home, telling people face to face, hey, follow me. And over time it sort of snowballs, hopefully. But what about things like paid ads? Or I know like with Golf Now, we talked about, they have a PMP program that puts us at the top, and, you know, Google searching and all those things. Like, what kind of stuff do you guys do in that regard to help people build the audience?
Yeah, all of it. So we not only build the audience, but then we execute, right? And to your point about paid search, that's one of the many tactics we deploy. There's also display, there's also video, influence ads, email marketing, so on and so forth, mobile advertising. But one thing I definitely want to make our listeners or your listeners aware of is the fact that click fraud is a very, very big thing. I mean, it was reported, estimates vary, but it was as high as $6.5 billion in ad dollars last year that were effectively just siphoned. They just vaporized, right?
Explain that.
Yeah, so I mean, it could be, when we talk about click fraud, I mean, in the simplistic form, it can be a disgruntled employee or your competition clicking on the ad. A more complex version of that would be a bot, a robot that's actually going out, that's programmed to find advertisements and click on them fraudulently and just siphon away ad dollars. So one of the things that we deploy, and you might not even know that we deploy this for your golf courses, is real-time bot detection. And we're not talking about report card bot detection where we tell you after the fact and your money's already gone, right? We do it in real time. So we can identify and prevent click fraud activity and recapture up to as high as 33% of those ad dollars that would have otherwise just vaporized, right? So you know, that's one of the key things that we do to prevent and recapture those ad dollars that would have otherwise just gone away.
Absolutely.
Dude,
I mean, that
that's-
alone is just amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
How do you know that Google's not doing that? Not making any accusations here.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing: is Google does do it, right? And you'll see if you advertise directly with Google, you'll see rebates. You'll see click fraud activity credits. But what we've identified is that while they do it, they're sometimes not always reporting on all of it. So the technologies that our owner has created is just mind blowing, and we have improved upon what they already provide and what other platforms already provide, and it's just At the agency, we have a motto and kind of words to live by. We spend our ad dollars on behalf of our clients as if they were our own. So what better way to protect those ad dollars than to deploy technologies that prevent them from vaporizing?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, your company too, because we've talked to other ad agencies and, especially, with Walters Golf and other, projects we've done. And I really got to give Brandlync a lot of credit. You guys, you get to talk to guys like you just, that really are involved. But also the technology, it seems like you definitely keep moving forward. The ownership and the executive team and the entire team really understands where this thing's going. And with the Verizon program and things we've had a lot of success with, the proprietary programs that you guys have utilized to really help a lot of companies.
Yeah, we've created programs that basically take various tactics that a golf course might be doing today in a very linear capacity, meaning they're just doing it basically in and of itself, right? And we've paired them together and put them together in a way that is effective, that's efficient, and at the end of the day drives ROI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That got a little dark there at the end, just for the record. You know what I mean? Because I'm thinking about how much, how many times, who's clicking ours? We have some disgruntled, probably past employees. Machine Gun Fraser over here.
There might be a few.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they got some ideas.
Yeah. Well, Josh, you've been amazing in the Brandlync, doing it at the studio here. Your entire team is awesome.
Thank you.
And we're so excited to continue to work with you. And any golf courses out there too, you should at least give it a try. Contact Josh, contact Brandlync, because they can customize a package for you. I know there's limited budgets and there's liminal things, but everything with customers changing behavior, the world changing every day, it's an investment that I think is necessary.
Yeah. And especially even if you do have a smaller budget or whatever it is, or whatever you try isn't necessarily optimal, it's that you're trying. When there's so many golf courses and golf course management companies and operators out there doing nothing, doing something is always going to win out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'd like to, to the listeners, if there is a golf course that's struggling or they don't know they're struggling and they just want a set of eyes, we do digital audits all the time, and we'd be happy to extend a free digital audit to any one of your listeners. Just simply go to brandlync.com/golf audit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So you got to dumb it down for us. So, we'll just give you an audit. We're going to take it. They'll take a look at it and
we'll
tell you where you missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right.
We'll provide the details down below.
All right. So I think that we're all marketing geniuses now, even though that you've proven to be one for 20 years, right?
My head's heavy now.
Exactly.
My brain just grew a lot.
Yeah, minus all the do, the locks.
I know.
Yeah, Drew with the new do.
I do like the do.
I do like it. I got hair envy, both you guys, everybody in this room. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do? But so we're going to go ahead and we're going to see who the real genius is. We're going to play a game. Just take a quick break here, and we're going to go ahead and guess some logos. We want everybody to try. It's going to be cool. I think I'm going to win.
No, I think it's going to be Josh over here. It's his job to know logos and brands and stuff. You know what I mean?
Don't know. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you soon. See you back in just a minute.
Slide a Pro V out of the sleeve. Grab my big stick, baby, would you please? Lay it down on the tee, bring the heat. Titleist 3, me and my Pro V. I pray I bust it straight and stay away from the lake. Gotta keep my pearl dry. Now that you're looking all shiny and sweet, you know how I'm gonna tee you high. And let her fly for me, my Pro V, my Pro V, just me and my Pro V. Let her fly for me, my Pro V, my Pro V, just me and my Pro V. Won't you fly with me as far as we can go? Won't you fly with me, straight into the hole.
Welcome back. So we're going to do a sudden death logo guess it challenge. We're going to have some logos up on the screen here. We're going to put it up for you guys to see what we're looking at. And the rules are simple. We're going to guess the logo. You get it wrong once, you're out. But Paradigm original rule is 2 tie, all tie. So if I get out first, the next one, Joe and Josh both get stumped. We're all back in. You have to win by actually getting it right.
I've actually won numerous times after losing or actually finishing last on this rule. It's a brilliant rule, the Paradigm rule. Everybody needs it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, let's roll. All right, number 1. That's easy, I think, right? You get 10 seconds, no pontificating.
Okay.
All right, Adidas, right? Everybody got that.
Yes.
Adidas.
Yeah,
Right.
Adidas. Cool. Starting off hot. This is where that rule's going to come in for me.
Yeah. I think I might get it.
I got it.
Oh God, I'm giving.
Okay.
I'm out.
I got Elpo. Is that dog food?
Adobe.
Oh man,
yeah.
dude, leave it to the tech nerd.
All right. Well, let's do a mulligan. All right. He had, all right, mulligan.
There's
Keep
1
rolling.
point. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
First one to get 2 right, changing the rules, Paradigm rules. All right.
Wow.
What? Looking at Josh's paper. I don't even know what it was. Can't even read it.
I'm going with Lighthouse.
Lincoln. I don't even know what Lincoln is.
All right, let's see.
All right,
Oh, man.
let's see it. All right, no,
Okay, we're all still in.
Hey, no, we're all
What
back
the
in.
heck is Ashok Leland?
Okay.
I know.
Oh,
I know.
dude.
You do know that one? You're old. You should know that one.
I know.
Man.
Are you ready?
I don't know it.
Dude, I'm out.
I'm going to go
Something
with
Air.
Sun Country Air.
Yes.
Air India.
Yes.
We're all back in.
Yeah, I know. All right. Ooh.
Oh, I know that.
I hope you both do.
It's a car. It's a fancy one.
Is it?
No, I don't know.
No,
I was
I
just
know what
setting
you
up.
were thinking.
Well, GA.
Oh, man, this is a tough one.
I don't know.
man.
I don't
All
even
right.
know.
I'm going with an old Giorgio Armani logo.
Ooh, that could be it. Armani.
He said
dude.
Giorgio. That's Armani.
GA.
That's
Let's
the
go
GA.
back.
No, I'm just kidding. But the answer is Armani.
Armani,
All
yeah.
right, I think
All
we
right,
have
we
to
can-
concede. You won twice.
It's probably good that he won, too,
Yeah, if
because
I
it
would've
is
failed
sort of
this-
his job.
yeah.
I hear you.
I know the old car you were going with Rolls Royce, right?
Exactly.
Or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you
Well,
going to do? Right.
Hey, we tried.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to go challenge both of you to a golf match. Not that I'm that good, but I can beat you two.
That's
Right?
fair.
And you guys can actually do a boxing match with me.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do a hair growing contest.
Oh, geez. Hey,
Oh, man.
I can win if you count the back, the ears, and the nose. I think I can crush y'all.
All right. Well, hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. Hopefully you guys learned something, laughed a little bit, and, we're going to keep everything coming. Josh, thanks again for joining us today.
Thank
it
you
was
so much
awesome
for having me.
you.
It was a blast.
No, Brandlync and everybody, your whole crew is amazing, and we love coming out here and doing this. You guys make it fun for us. And, I hope we made you smile, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
See you soon.
From the T to the green and the P to the B. Skip the plumb bob, drop the plumb bob, lose the plumb bob. Who needs a plumb bob?